I'll be right back, but just take a minute and focus in and just kind of listen to the music for a moment and think about your character.
Open Syrinscape, at least.
I know that he said we should focus, but all I can think about is that I am the biggest catfish, because they're going to see these episodes where I actually put on makeup and then it's going to jump to the other ones. And I'm like, hello. That's all I want to say.
What's the opposite of a catfish? Because really how I look right now is my truest form. So I feel like...
You're the cutest.
And last little bit before we focus up. Okay, people who have seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Is Maglo, Edward Elric, Winfrey, Roy or Hawkeye? Because Hawkeye uses a gun. That's the only reason why
they don't even match.
No, who's the woman with the big husband that's like, yeah, you fucking Elric brothers, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, the housewife?
Yeah.
The woman with the big husband.
She has a big husband.
Oh, this is great. Can I be Scar?
Are we doing a recap for the episode prior, or
everyone could go around and do their own for their own
let's
character.
do a round robin of the last thing everybody remembers doing.
I'm just trying to fight that fuck off tiefling little.
June just got transported through what she can only describe as shitty McShit water.
The famous four are in an alley beating up some thugs.
I'm going to start this before we really kind of get moving on the story portion of this by saying that the introductory scene, the flashback that's going to occur, has a trigger warning with it. It is going to include some mental and physical abuse by a master to a student. So it's got a level of intensity to it that I feel like is worth mentioning here. So if you want to either skip ahead or step away, certainly you're welcome to do so. There will be a written recap that we will produce for those who wish to have it. And otherwise, we can start. The children that were scattered about the floor of the common room looked at the old man, waiting for a tale of faraway lands and heroic exploits. I suppose we were at the beginning then. The underdark, the grove, the sea, the palace, they all converged right there.
Harold, have you ever seen so many different kinds of people in such a big place? How hard could it be to find somebody that knows where Tailwind is?
You're a miracle, boy. I shake my head and quietly to myself say, there's no such thing as miracles.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a running start. I'll count to 30. 1, 2.
30, and then I'm gonna run at him and attack him.
You told me your history. I was born on that boat. Huh? That ship that your friend is dissecting.
I absolutely hate how chipper you always are.
And it'd be a good look on you, though.
If it's a riddle, I want to solve it. If it's a lock, I want to open it.
I'm a holy woman, and I'm looking for things that were taken from me and my people.
They could not begin to fathom the situation that they found themselves in. Before you is the tree. The leaves are almost iridescent in the glow that they produce. A sharp and powerful spray of green and yellow and orange, speckled with red, as if it were on fire, with an internal energy that it pulls from the world around it. Its branches stretch outward towards a dark gray sky. its unmarred and perfect white bark has stood here for as long as anyone could remember. Even the elven bards are unable to mark the date when this tree came into its full being. It has been an anchor point and a center of this civilization for as long as you can remember. And the walls that are built around it, they came long after. But as all elven folk know, this world is slowly slipping away. And so the elven people are receding. Many have already retreated. Humans, with their innovation, progress, steel and smoke, they have shaped the natural world around them. All of the great elven houses throughout all of Faerun blame themselves, for they taught the humans magic. And some of them turned those gifts into horrible nightmares. And in the elven homes, there was hope that some remnant of this magic, of this world, might be saved. This tree and this place was the last hope. And as you look upon it, the flare of leaves begin to change. That great tree burns before you, and you are watching it as it is destroyed before you. The beautiful white bark, gray, then black, and the smoke that it produces as it billows outward turns the perfect sky into a shroud. And you are watching, and all around you, the screams. With pain and fear, all of your people are being slaughtered. And you are standing now in that gray, lifeless place with the ruins of your homeland around you, shattered. And the tree that sits in the center of it all, a jagged scar to remind you of what once was and why you are who you are. Siraye, I expect your attention. And you feel the lash of a leather strap against your arms, which are outstretched. Your arms are exhausted. You have been standing on a single pillar within the temple now for 3 days. You have been here in this sacred space on top of this mountain ever since you fled your home. And they have taught you. They have served you. And this order of monks has made you strong. But your thoughts always linger on what happened, on why you came here, Where are you, Siraye?
I'm here.
Yes, not in the past. For though it leaves its mark, it is not where we fight this battle. What do you want, Siraye?
Revenge?
No.
Okay.
And you feel another lash against your arms, and your legs quiver. Revenge makes you weak. What do we seek, Siraye?
Balance.
What will you bring to the world, Siraye?
Balance.
Are you prepared? You're hesitating, and you feel another slap on your arms. Are you strong enough for this task, Siraye?
Yes.
Close your eyes. Do you sense the shadow?
Do I sense the shadow? I don't know.
You feel the cold air blow across you. But this place is not normal. There is something about it that sits on the cusp of not just this world, but another. And in the dark recesses of this temple, Siraye, shadows move like water. I need you, Siraye, make a new initiative roll. Is that a natural 20?
Motherfucker!
That's it. Bring the heat. I will say that arm rolling well normally spells bad things for me. So I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, my friend, just sit back. We'll get to Maglo. So you are on this rooftop. This tiefling is looking over at you with like a bright, mischievous gleam in their eye as their hooded form repositions, and this fight is continuing. As you had fallen down from that last kick, your head had whipped over, and you see in the alley below you a small goblin who is dressed in very baggy clothing, a very studious-looking thin man wearing clothing that seems more suited for Neverwinter than it does for Waterdeep, and an armored young man with very pale skin and light hair. However, in the center of all of this, you see a broken cart and shattered boxes and a small flock of cockatrices running around in the middle of this this alleyway. So it is your initiative. You certainly are going to go first, Siraye. What would you like to do?
I'm going after that tiefling. I don't give a shit about whatever business they're doing. I want to kill that butthole tiefling, and then I'm gonna climb the roof and follow him wherever I see him.
Yeah, the tiefling, you can see that now that you've been knocked down, they seem to be very interested in quickly getting away, as opposed to continuing this any further. So you can see that they're currently one roof away from you. They have leapt over to this side, and you can see that there is a archer on the other rooftop across from you, and they're aimed down at these individuals in this alleyway, and they seem to be shooting arrows into that throng, and they look rather surprised when this red-skinned tiefling jumps across the roof and starts dashing past them. You can do so with an advantage.
Well, I have a +6 in acrobatics, so I think I'm okay.
Oh, you don't want your advantage. Fair. I'll never give you one again.
Thank you.
Okay, done.
You don't need to give me an advantage in acrobatics. If it's something like, I don't know, like intelligence,
The reason that you got the
intelligence.
advantage was because you are very good at this, and it's a very simple jump. But
well, I did it.
Okay, so listen, you leap across this gap, and you are within range of the tiefling. Do you wish to make a melee or a ranged attack against them?
Oh no, I'm gonna stab him in the face. I'm gonna make him. I'm within 5 feet.
You're within 5 feet. We're gonna call that a melee attack, not stab them in the face.
Cool.
All right.
I'm gonna melee attack him with my spear.
Okay, and so you do see this archer standing here as well.
I don't care.
Okay. You hit with a 13, which is just under what you needed. So you stab, and they immediately duck and roll out of the way. But they roll over here and now are on this side of the archer. And so you're now standing between this archer, who is trying to shoot an arrow, unleashes it. You can see it hit the building across the way, and it seems like they've missed their mark because of the distraction. And now they're fumbling to try to draw a sword.
Cool. I'm gonna
So they have a second attack.
So now I'm going to do a hook kick, and it's gonna come around the archer so I can smack him in the face.
Okay, so you're kicking around this archer. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please. 12 isn't going to do it. So you do kick, but you hit, but like what happens is the tiefling throws up their arm, and you see a leather bracer, and they kind of like buffet your kick away, and they take the momentum and they throw you forward just a little bit. Okay, so now it is the tiefling's turn. The tiefling is going to follow suit, knowing that they cannot get away from you easily, and they're now punching around this archer as well. The archer is completely confused and is like trying to draw their longsword. However, 2 strikes come around the archer, and both of them miss you. Meanwhile, below, I need Maglo, Hawke, and Doddle to please roll your initiatives.
5.
A mighty 5 for our little friend. 14.
16.
All right. These thugs, these gang members that are surrounding you, some of them are lying on the ground unconscious. One of them is still conscious and dealing with you, Hawke. However, across the top of the roofs are a number of archers that are firing into this space. So 2 arrows, as you are seen as an immediate threat, Hawke, are going into you. One of those is a natural 1. And that's another natural 1. So not a third, but a second. So the archer's bow breaks as they pull back. You hear a sharp snap, and you hear someone yell as an arrow kind of falls into this part of the cobblestone here, hits it, and bounces off harmlessly to anyone involved.
Is this the same archer that we were fighting around?
Yeah, because he is currently dealing with the 2 of you fighting around him. He has completely lost his bow now. He was trying to shoot, trying to draw a sword, trying to do too many things at once, and the bow just snapped. However, the other one does hit you, Hawke, and you feel an arrow pierce into your shoulder as you take 5 points of damage.
Ooh.
It buries into your shoulder through your armor all the way up, almost to the very tip of the coral. And the individual next to you that you're still fighting, the shaved head man with the tattoos across his neck and head, begins laughing. The other archer, however, is shooting at Maglo and hits Maglo for 4 points of damage. Maglo, an arrow pierces into your leg at about the thigh.
Ow.
With that, you have 2 opponents that are facing you currently, Maglo. You know that Doddle is underneath the wagon. However, these boxes have shattered, and there are 4 cockatrices that are running wild in this area. And you see this brown chicken running, trying to find a way to get under the wagon as it looks desperately to where this small childlike form has begun hiding.
Okay.
Dumb question, just for my memory. Cockatrices are like bird dragons, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So these are small. They're about the size of a German Shepherd, and they are reptilian, roostery creatures that have weird wattles and scales and dragon wings, but the head and beak of what looks like a bird, specifically a rooster or a chicken. Yeah, they have these strange alien eyes, and you can make an Arcana check, Doddle.
Hell yeah.
If you so choose.
I'm so sad this is a prequel, because I want to take them home, guys. I'm going to be honest. It's 18.
So yeah, you do know that they're very dangerous and that they have the ability to turn other creatures to stone.
Yeah, you don't want one of those.
I was gonna say we could just Bill and Ted it and say that we hid them in a location, and then later on in the future we'd be like, oh yeah, we hid them there.
I firmly encourage you to just play this as is, and we'll see what happens. If you save a bunch of cockatrices, we'll deal with it in the actual play.
Careful, my friends. If you're bitten by them, you'll get stoned.
No way!
Do I have the book?
Yeah, you had retrieved the book. The individual that was on top of the carriage was then knocked over. The book slid across the cobblestone and is at your feet. You have yet to pick it up, but it is there.
Maglo picks it up, put the book in his bag, and then duck into this alley. Will that incur 4 opportunity attacks? Both from the cockatrices and these 2 people?
So the 2 individuals on the ground will not attack you because they are prone. And the cockatrice here will attack you. So as you do, this squawking creature, it looks ferociously angry and it almost like feral as it whips its head back and forth, and you hear and it nips at you as you try to slip past MacLeod. Your armor class saves you.
15. Ah, nice.
But barely. You feel its beak latch onto a bit of leather on your leg, and it tears it off.
Oh, I thought he meant his leg. Sorry.
Just my whole leg's gone.
Jesus Christ.
Your leg is just ripped off.
But no damage.
No damage, yeah. No damage. All right.
Maglo ducks behind some barrels or things that are just like in the alleyway. He's ducked out of this scuffle, and he looks toward the street in front of him. Make sure his bag's all fastened. Goes to leave because he's got what he was here for. And Busby flies up a little bit and pulls at his coat back in. Well, there's nothing for us. We got what we came for. Let's just go.
Busby stops and immediately shines a light underneath the wagon.
They seem perfectly capable. I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be fine. I
convince you. Yeah.
Once, this one time, and then pulls his gun and then loads it.
We're going to move over to Hawke. Hawke, what are you doing?
So I'm still currently locked in combat with the bald gentleman, right?
Yes, you two are still engaged in combat. There is blood trickling across his forehead. He has an entirely swollen bruise across one side of his face, and he has a slash mark from your blade.
Right. At this point, Hawke's just kind of breathing heavily. He takes his gauntlet, grabs the arrow, pulls it out of his shoulder, throws it on the ground. You can still walk away from this. It's your last chance.
The individual looks back at the rest of this group, at what's happening behind, and then looks to the rooftop and seems to be assessing the situation. So I'd like for you to make a persuasion check, please, because that didn't feel very intimidating. It felt more like you were trying to convince him to stop.
Absolutely, it's bargaining. 24?
Very, very powerful. He seems to not want to back down. And so trying to salvage his pride, this thug starts nodding and walking backwards. Now, when he walks backwards, do you attack in any way?
No, I put my sword down, I look at his friend on the ground and go, make sure your friend gets medical attention, okay?
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
I roll my eyes and I'm going to head over to the cockatrices and start taking care of those problems.
There was another opponent that was running up, and he holds his hand up. There's some sort of signal that has been passed around. Go ahead and roll an insight, Hawke, and I'll see if I can't tell you anything else.
There it is.
Yeah, he made some sort of hand signal to the other thug. Both of them are moving backwards away from you now. And they're kind of navigating these cockatrices, which are snapping wildly, but they don't seem to be like focused on or attacking any one person. They seem to be frantically screeching and very sharply snapping at anything that gets near them.
I don't want to kill them, but I know that if they're left to their own devices, they'll hurt other people. So while he's backing away, I don't actually really move. I sling my sword on my shoulder, I hold up my hand, and I charge, and I shoot off 2 beams of an Eldritch Blast to the 2 closest cockatrices.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your to strike, please.
So the first one's a 13. The first one's a 26 for 8 points of damage. The second one's a 13 for 6.
So 26 is absolutely a hit, and the 13 is also a hit. So you do a considerable amount of damage. Okay, so yeah, you plow into both of these cockatrices, and they scatter and roll across the street as these eldritch beams build up from your hands, and these dark purple raven-like images are shot forth, and there's a screeching as everything around you grows shadowy and dark. Siraye, make a perception check.
The one thing I have a really good score in.
Oh no.
That's your natural 1, and that's what you get for being a braggart.
I mean, that's pretty good for a natural 1, so she ain't wrong.
Yeah.
So just roll it again, and let's see if you get another one. Yeah, even your fail on perception is pretty great.
Yeah, I have a +8 on.
That's some people's average.
So.
Please go ahead and roll that again. Yeah, nope. You didn't get another natural 1, so you are in the clear. I will say that you don't know where it's coming from, but you feel a cold chill move through your body. And as you're fighting this tiefling...
It's my true hatred for this fucking tiefling.
Well, a plume of air from as if it were cold issues forth from your mouth. As somewhere nearby, you sense shadow being used and tapped into.
Cool.
Hawke, a red and brown chicken jumps onto your back.
Look at my back.
It's the same chicken that the young, apparently goblin was carrying. This chicken is sitting on your shoulder now and is kind of like gently tugging at your scarf or your cape, trying to like motion you forward.
Behind me. They're shooting arrows, buddy. Right, okay, just stay safe, okay? Keep behind me.
Okay, so The two cockatrices roll and are pretty badly damaged from those attacks. They are red hot pissed now, and they are looking at you, Hawke. And let me make a roll for the other two because they are currently in a flock. Nope, they don't care or notice. So the other two are still running wildly and are not deterred by the explosion of this arcane energy. Let's go to Doddle. Doddle, you're underneath this wagon, and you have befriended this horse, who is a large, a black stallion who seems to have seen quite a bit of manual labor in his day. Kind of droopy, sad eyes, but a little white patch across his nose with a diamond on his forehead, and his eyes look down at you through his legs.
I love him.
And you reached up and you pet him, and he was licking your hand, looking for food.
I have an arrow sticking out of me right now, right? I have a question.
Yeah, you also have been shot.
Yeah. Is that cart empty?
It is now. It was toppled over. All of the goods that were carried on it were plowed forward when it toppled onto the individuals that were attacking Maglo.
And none of those individuals are on the cart right now, right?
No one is on the cart.
Oh,
except
that's
for
wonderful.
A single crate remains on the cart.
Oh, excellent to know. Can I see Siraye on the roof?
Make a perception check. That's a good point. Everybody make a perception check.
I would specifically, I want to know if I can see those pointy ears of hers. Fuck, I can't. No, that's a 3.
Yeah, that's a 3. So no, you don't. But let's see how everybody else does.
I got 21.
Yeah, so Hawke, you do notice individuals on top of the roof. You do recognize when you shoot these eldritch blasts, you see someone that you saw on the street earlier, and you recognize the face of that stranger who had appeared before you and this small goblin child. She seems to be in combat with the individuals on the roof, and you know that there are other people who are fighting, shooting arrows at all of you, but she seems to be fighting against them. Everyone else is pretty oblivious to that. Yeah, Maglo got a 3 too, so you don't, my friend, notice anything. You have your gun and you're preparing to shoot. So Doddle, what would you like to do?
So I would like to, with my new horse friend, please, commit a little bit of Grand Theft Auto, and I'd like to climb up and ride away with the cart, please.
Oh my! Can we please make a sub game called Grand Theft Carriage?
I'm in.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doddle. So you jump into the carriage, and you're gonna spur this horse forward.
No, never. I'm just gonna pat him and say, "Excuse me, friend. May we please flee the scene?"
Okay. Yeah. So you're lovingly encouraging the horse forward. I would like for you to make an animal handling check, please, Doddle.
Oh, please, please, please. No, it's 9.
Well, 9 isn't bad. It's fairly average. So the horse, who you've already become somewhat acquainted with, and because of your kindness, moves forward. But I will say that it is sort of confused and doesn't do so quickly. It's just kind of slowly trotting forward. So you move about all of 10 feet with the carriage.
Can I lean back to him and pat him a little faster and just say,
"Oh, you're doing so good, but could we perhaps have a little bit more urgency here?"
So you've already made your roll for this round, and you and the horse are about 10 feet away.
Anybody that wants to cheese it, get on the cart!
Everybody hears as this carriage slowly starts to pull away. You hear shouts as these two thugs pull themselves off the ground. Hey, wait!
No.
Don't! Hey, stop right there!
No, thank you.
Everyone with arrows then begins to train themselves upon the goblin stealing the carriage.
Oh, fuck.
However, that is the end of the round, which means that it is now the cockatrice's turn. One of them is jumping onto this thug here, and the other cockatrice is jumping onto this thug here. Hawke, you have 2 cockatrices that are coming towards you. I need you... Oh, no.
Does anybody want a statue? I feel like something's gonna happen.
So yeah, you do get 2 beaked attacks that are just as these lizard-like bird creatures rush towards you, and they snap at you. And one of them breaks through your armor, piercing the soft leather underneath and into your flesh. The other one, however, does not succeed, and your armor protects you, but it bites firmly onto you, and it looks like it will still continue to be an issue. So as the one bite digs into your leg, you immediately suffer a little bit of damage. You take 3 points of damage. It is piercing. Now, I would like for you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. See here. Oh, that's not a good throw for me. That's a 6.
Okay. So on a 6, you have failed. And that means that you are considered currently to be restrained. You can't move out of your space, and you look at your hand and you see yourself calcifying. Now it's not automatic. You're going to repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn, and on a success, you're gonna be okay. But if you fail another one, you have a problem. And the other cockatrices are attacking these 2 thugs, both of whom fall to the ground as the cockatrices land on them. And just like in Jurassic Park, where the tiny dinosaurs jump on them, these little bird-like creatures are showing themselves to be hugely ferocious, and their talons are raking across their face. And while neither thug is killed by this action, both are thrown into a position of prone, and both of them are slowly turning into stone. And you can see their bodies calcifying as they're lying out. And at the end of the round, this thug here continues to run and runs past his 2 allies that are being attacked and does nothing to help them, trying to make his way back to the wagon. Juniper. It's quiet. And somewhere deep in the distance, you hear the dripping of water.
Welcome back.
You see a cat-like creature, a humanoid, with bright, wide yellow eyes. Their fur is matted and ragged with small bits of gray here and there. And they are wearing tattered cloaks and leather armor. And this individual is leaning over you.
How long was I out for?
Perhaps an hour.
We've wasted too much time. What do I need to do from here?
You follow the Oaken Lord, yes?
Yes.
I suggest you pray.
It's not a bad idea. June just closes her eyes. It's a silent prayer, asking for the strength to be able to get back up and climb these walls.
Make a religion roll for me, please. This old Scratch sits upon a stone a far distance away from you, giving you space, and begins restringing a bow. kind of watching you out of the corner of one eye. A 19 is very good. You begin seeing things. Sails as far as the eye can see. They are large galleon ships, and you smell the ocean. And you hear people moving about, bells ringing, and it's all very muted. What you really sense is the teeming life in the bay, the fish and the creatures that are swarming that area, the moss and the growth around it. Like a compass, you know that the power of the Oaken Lord resides somewhere within that place. Though you do not know it, only what it looks, sounds, and smells like.
How many docks does Waterdeep have?
There are a great many docks, but there is only one section that holds many of their ships.
I think that's where I need to go.
Would you like for me to take you there? It will not be quick, but it will be safe.
Okay. I'm ready.
And the creature turns and, like, on all fours, putting the bow back onto his back, and starts leading you through sewer passages. He stops a lot and is constantly smelling the air, and you're not sure how, but somehow this tabaxi is able to smell beyond just the filth of the city. And you walk across thin stone walkways. On either side of you is thick, disgusting sludge that is being poured out from the city. And as you get closer, you start to smell salt and seawater. However, Scratch stops and holds a clawed hand up. Something is ahead. Prepare yourself.
June readies her thorn whip.
You pull your whip out, and Scratch has pulled his bow out and knocks an arrow and slowly starts creeping forward. As both of you turn a corner, you see in front of you a body. Strewn across one of these passageways like a broken rag doll, and it is swarming with rats.
June's gonna run up to that body and start praying for them.
As you do, there are enough rats here, some of them are very large, that they do not immediately run away from you. I would like for you to make an intimidation check if you're trying to clear them away from the body.
So I have a negative. Oh!
That's a natural 1, Juniper.
Oh no!
And with your -1 on your intimidation, it makes it a 0. So you've rolled a 0, but go ahead and roll again to see if you get another natural 1.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man.
I blame Siraye.
I do too.
Sorry,
17.
I started off the game high. Now it's just downhill from here.
You didn't get 2 natural 1s in a row, so you're actually fine. You do run forward, and as you do, the rats seem to be prepared for you, and they rush you. And so you're going to roll initiative now, Juniper.
I'm going to fight rats. Oh no. Ain't that something?
To that classic
Hello,
Baldur's
roll.
Gate level 1 quest in there.
16.
Punching big rats.
Okay, so yeah, you begin positioning yourself, and as the rats start swarming towards you, June, there's movement in the water just a slight distance away from this body, and another body kind of bubbles up to the surface, and a large form rises out of the water. And you see a hulking, half man, half rat creature with rippled muscles and strange boils and warts that cover the skin and that are oozing this black viscous pus as one cold, dead eye is turned away from you and a sharp, beady eye narrows.
June can have nothing, no peace.
We'll come back to you, June.
Just like take his head and just be like, no, go back.
Yeah, go back down.
Elsewhere. Calder, you lie on the ground, having toppled clumsily across the slick boards of this fully rotten and run-down establishment, shattering the table of two very imposing individuals. You have toppled their drinks upon yourself and are now staring up into the hooded face of what you know to be a drow. Pale skin, fierce dark eyes. A network of thin purple veins worked across their face as they glower emotionless down at you. The other individual looks at you with what might be pity. There is a tense and painful silence. No one in the tavern breathes.
In this silence, Cal is just gonna give his biggest, dumbest smile and just look up. Can I take your order? Big smile, and if he's just gonna do that blink where it's the very slow, dumb blink that's one eye at a time, just. I'm
gonna have you make a performance check.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. All right. I feel so much fear. Oh. Okay.
You got a 20, my friend. Not a natural 20. It's a dirty 20, but you did roll 20 on this, which is very good. So you have convinced anyone who's watching that you are completely oblivious to the insult that you've caused and that you are just a bumbling fool. Let me roll an insight check for our friend the drow.
Oh.
The eyes narrow, and you can see they are reaching into their cloak for something. I told you about this before, boy. I want you out and yelling now, because I'm going to give you what you deserve. And you see a figure insert themselves above you, grabbing you by the collar and sliding you out of view as you see a small halfling man in a patchwork cloak. Surely no one's going to take any offense if I take this oaf outside and teach him a lesson. You hear him draw backwards and then spit in your face.
Oh.
You feel the little hand grasp onto your ear and pull you really close.
Yeah.
And then in a very low whispered voice, you hear, lad, if you want to live, play along.
His eyes widened. Cal's gonna completely play along, like, oh, not again, please.
I hope you're ready to get your ass thoroughly kicked.
Ready as I ever am.
And so the small halfling man marches you back through the tavern as everyone in the tavern begins laughing. And they're pointing at you, and the tension has been broken in this moment as the halfling manhandles you out of the back door and throws you into the alley. The halfling kind of like rakes his real bushy blonde hair out of his eyes and kind of like brushes himself off, adjusts his cloak. And you can see that he's wearing very well-tailored clothing. He has a really bright and cheery smile. Seems to just kind of beam a pleasant joy about him. But you see at his hip, he has a number of daggers sheathed, and he has a short sword on his back. Something tells you that the way that he moves, he's probably very good with these weapons. As soon as the door closes, the small figure brushes himself off and looks at you apologetically. You seem to be quite eager to get yourself into a grave fairly quickly, young lad.
What? I don't know if eager's the word, but planning is maybe not my strong suit.
Very sorry for that.
I'm not. Thank you.
You deserve better than that, lad.
Who are you?
My name's Fiddlescratch. Phineas Fiddlescratch. I'm a friend. Well, a friend of... It's a long story. Just come here for a minute, lad.
He shrugs like, might as well. I'm like, yeah, okay.
He pulls back and punches you in the eye.
Ah!
And you feel a bruise start to swell up as his little fist just clocks you directly in the eye socket. I'm sorry.
Yep.
We had to make it look real. That should serve you well enough. We won't have to do more, but perhaps act like your ribs hurt a bit.
Yeah, I could do you one better. And Cal throws himself against the wall of the tavern, like that the people are on the other side of, and just that should do it. Thank you.
Well, I think this is where we part ways. For now.
How can I thank you somehow?
Yes. In fact, I'm counting on it. There will come a time I will find you, and when that time comes, you will repay the debt.
Fair enough.
I suggest you go and wash your dishes. They aren't going to clean themselves, and perhaps they clear the common room for a few hours.
Thank you.
And he smiles broadly and turns whistling as he walks down the street. And he disappears.
Would Cal recognize the tune at all? That sounds familiar to me, but I don't know.
You can roll a history check.
Oh. 12.
It is familiar. In fact, the only thing that you pull out of it is that it's very old. It's strange to hear it.
Well, Cal's gonna ruffle himself up a little more, his hair, his clothes, and he's going to walk back into the tavern, limping a little bit, looking very sheepish.
Everyone goes quiet, and the door creaks open of the seedy, disgusting tavern as you shuffle in and kind of fall forward. And everyone, after that moment of silence, begins laughing and pointing at you, Cal. With the exception of the mage in the corner, the blue-robed mage who wears the ring that you've been tasked with finding one of, and just kind of looks at you with perhaps a look of disappointment.
I'm going to wink at him.
Okay. And
I don't have a plan behind that wink, but I'm.
Let me see how he takes that. He sort of nods, and his air seems to lighten a little bit at that wink, perhaps regaining some confidence in you.
I'm gonna have him collect some of maybe the dishes that he spilled on the ground around the drow and the man.
And you see that the two individuals that were there have moved to another table, and you see a round of fresh drinks, and you assume that the Tavern Keep has taken care of them to try to, dissuade them from taking any offense to the situation. They ignore you wholly. They don't do anything. However, you see the plates that are broken around there, and you see the Tavern Keep glower at you. That ponderously huge man from behind the bar just narrows his eyes, and you can see that you're going to hear about this later, regardless of how beaten you might have been.
Yeah, all right, well, perfect. He's going to do his best to clean up and try to see if he can hear anything that's going on while he does that. And then, go back and mind his business for a bit.
The fire is crackling in the hearth that's in the center of the room. It's a circular hearth with this really gross fish stew that boils at all times, and then they just ladle it out. But there are some additional bowls there, and you start picking them up. Go ahead and make an insight check as you're doing that, please, Calder.
Historically, I have not been great at this.
No, that's okay.
Oh yeah, that's a 2.
Okay, so you don't notice anything. Your eye actually is starting to throb a little bit, and you just kind of are distracted by the pain in your face. But as you walk back to the kitchen, you see the mage in the powder blue robes, and on that hand you see that glint of blue from that gem. And we'll come back to you, Calder, at that point, all right? Another individual in a blue robe is standing at a brass ornate cart that is laden with crystal decanters and pours another glass of brandy and hands it to you, Illyri. A fire crackles in front of you, and a very handsome man of middle age with finely manicured features and a beautiful red plumed hat and coat stands one arm on his side in front of an enormous painting of himself in the exact same position. There's a third individual in this room with a lacquered and well-carved mask, as this female-bodied individual kind of moves across the room from time to time, pacing very quietly. It is the greatest of honor to be met with such refinement in times such as these. I had no idea that being so well traveled as a privateer could be not only exciting, but enticing. And he kind of like spittles as he says that.
Ugh.
Illyri just nods along like, yeah, keep it coming. Yeah, absolutely. And she goes to take a sip of the brandy. She recognize it?
Yeah, it's actually a fine vintage of brandy, known to be very popular here, but it is shipped across from the Moonshay Isle. A penchant for this speaks to someone who is refined and likes to spend coin, but that person also is not, let's just say that they're not tethered by political sway, because if someone wanted to support Waterdeep fully, they wouldn't be using this foreign brandy. They would probably be drawn more towards local brews.
Very well. When she takes the sip of the brandy, she gives him like a good nod. You really don't cheap out, do you?
I provided that for Sternward here some time ago, and I'm sorry to say, it seems as if his palate is not as refined as yours, my dear.
We shouldn't tease him too much, though.
There is a loud slap of a hand on a desk. If you are quite finished, perhaps we can continue.
Drinks the rest of it. All right.
You were telling us about the siren's call. The captain. The book he was reading. You were about to tell us everything about that moment.
Sorry, the Jets are playing. Let me just shut my door.
Are they winning?
I'm glad it was the Jets playing and not somebody falling into a well.
Oh my god.
I apologize. This cat, if I don't pet him, he will relentlessly go after my ham sandwich. So sorry, he's distracting.
No, he's not distracting us. We're good.
He's the best part of the show.
Oh, he's distracting me for sure, but he can do it all he wants.
Okay.
There are going to be a few more town passes, and the Jets are definitely going to lose. So I just wanted to make
How
sure.
dare
that
the
door was
Jets
shut.
play when we're playing D&D? I told them about this.
Well, to be honest with you, they always just are never on air anyway. So I don't know why they're happening today, but. The book. The captain had it in his possession for some time. He and the priest had started to see and hear things that I'm not quite sure if it had to do with the book or old age, but when the crew asked me to put him out of his misery, I did it. It was smooth, simple. You know, he had lined the pockets of all those crewmen for quite some time, and we had some good talks, so I made sure that when it happened, it wasn't the poison that they had given me, but instead it was my blade in his back as he went to finish out his duty.
I can respect that. Yes, you did what you had to, my dear. And this meaty, fat hand kind of pats yours. You feel greasy after it moves away. We all do things that we must to maintain order here, yes? Mm-hmm.
You know, had I not done it, I feel like the whole crew was just gonna jump ship.
A wise thought. I'm satisfied, and you have earned your coin.
Ah, thank you. Am I good to go now, or?
You could. Or perhaps you would be of some service to us in the future. We could hire you.
I don't know, you putting a tight squeeze on me at my place of employment. It's not a good look, but perhaps you have something that could better utilize my skills.
Indeed. I think we do. Initiative order, we're going to go back up here to the top as Siraye. You're on the rooftop. What would you like to do in this moment?
I'm gonna kick the tiefling's ass. I'm gonna try and swipe up with my my spear, and I'm just going for the head. I want this guy dead. I'm pretty pissed.
You are going for the head.
Oh,
you swing.
no!
It's a natural 1. That is your 3rd natural 1, I think.
Fuck.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that again. No, you didn't get another natural 1. So you did just fail horribly as you stab outward, and you've left yourself open. The tiefling's next attack is going to be with an advantage. However, you still have another attack.
I'm gonna try and smack him with the blunt end of my spear.
Yeah, you're
so that
in a
way
bad.
it's not necessarily. Yeah.
You're in a bad position, but go ahead and roll to attack. It's a 17, so you do strike. You do 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit across the back of the tiefling's head, and a little blood shoots out of their mouth as you've just thrown them forward.
That's right, sucker.
I'm gonna make a check here to see if the tiefling is able to remain standing, and no. So here's what happens: the shingles underneath the tiefling break away and the stone shatters as they slide downwards, and they reach out and grab you by the leg, and I need you to make an acrobatics check, otherwise you're going over with the tiefling.
Oh, okay. 13.
Okay, so you go over, and both you and the tiefling slide off the roof and land in the alleyway right next to Maglo. Maglo, make an acrobatics check, please.
Watch Maglo get crushed.
You got a natural 20.
Thank you, Fob, for all your nat ones. I'm feeding off of your power today.
You're welcome. Please take it.
This is where the real balance in the game comes from. Okay. So, Maglo, tell me how you spectacularly avoid these 2 individuals that fall off the roof. I'll give you a free 5 feet of movement anywhere you want.
He has these boots of teleportation which can take him anywhere, like where he's gone in the last like couple of seconds.
Yeah, go for it.
So I think he's like readying a shot, and then he hears this crumble.
Yeah,
and,
like a shingle shatters right next to you, and then you look up and you see these dark forms toppling over the roof.
Yeah, and just as they come down, he like slams his heel and then like flits backwards, like further off into the alleyway as they smack and hit the ground.
Yeah, so go ahead and place yourself wherever you like. Siraye, you land on your feet.
Sweet.
So your spear is still in your hand. The tiefling, however, has rolled to about here and is lying on the ground prone. Okay, so Maglo, it's now your turn. What would you like to do?
Focus. He's just going to go back to try and focus on the archer, not the one who is on the roof that Siraye just fell off, because his bow is still broken, right? His thing snapped.
I don't know that you know that.
Oh, okay. Well, he wouldn't have been the one that shot him. Yeah, he's gonna try and re-aim.
Okay, so go ahead and take a shot at whichever of these opponents that you would like.
Firing a Ray of Sickness at 2nd level, which is a 17.
You absolutely strike your target, and they have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
And they fail.
Brilliant. So that's 23 damage, and they are poisoned.
No, they aren't. They're dead. They fall off the roof. They land in a horse's trough, and it shatters underneath them, and you see that they've been impaled by a stick of wood.
Shoot me, you fucking prick. And he pulls up his thing and then loads another shot for next round.
Let me make a quick morale check at this point. Okay. You're loading up another shot. Did you have a bonus action or anything you needed to do, Maglo?
No, he's just gonna, unless he can like duck behind a barrel?
You can duck behind a barrel as a free action. Yeah. So you take cover. You roll back now, and you start reloading. Busby's freaking out next to you, and you have the comforting weight of the book back in its satchel with all the other papers and all of your research. But this is turning into a mess out here very quickly. Hawke, what are you doing? It's your turn.
Let's see. Doddle's trying to roll away. I'm gonna shout to her. We need to stop the cockatrice. These things will hurt innocent people if they get out of here. I'm going to try and attack the one that just bit me with my green flame blade. So I know that that's a disadvantage, so I'll make the...
Yeah, your body is slowly calcifying.
All right, that's an 11?
11 is a... Their armor class is 11. You've just hit.
So that's 17 on the first one, and then it splashes over to 11 fire damage on the cockatrice next to it.
When you slice down, you cut the creature in half, and it falls to the ground. Just as you see your skin on your arm, the little bit that's showing from your armor, is slowly turning into stone, and you feel it working its way across your face. And this creature dies. This one has taken damage and shrieks. Let me make a roll to see if it wants to continue fighting you. It does not. So it's going to try to run away from you. Do you want to do an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. Still at disadvantage, right?
Yeah, disadvantage still.
Okay. That is 25?
Yeah, you kill it as it starts to run away. And you can see that where it's bleeding, this black ichor blood, it's like sizzling and like acid almost, melting part of the stone there on the ground. So at the end of your round, I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Do you have an inspiration or anything? Oh.
18?
Yeah, an 18 passes and you are no longer afflicted by this. You are safe. The calcification kind of flakes off as if it were dead skin, and you are safe from the threat of petrification. And there's a chicken on your back, Hawke.
Oh, perfect. Cool. Harold safe.
Yeah. There are 2 cockatrices left and a number of thugs, all of whom seem to be retreating towards the wagon that is being taken. You know how it's just 2 wheels and it teeter-totters back and forth, and it tips down so you can load them easily? It's still kind of in dump truck mode, and Doddle is riding away as the wood is kind of scraping along the back. Doddle, what are you doing?
Well, right now, I'm arguing with myself in my head. Because I could end this, but I'm like, would Doddle really kill bitches this early on in her adventure? I do have an arrow inside of me right now. So give me a second here.
Hey, wait! Don't! Stop right there!
Doddle reaches for her shoulder, and takes her hand away, and sees blood unfamiliar to her for the first time. She's in pain. She's scared. This strange man has said we just have to deal with the cockatrices. She doesn't know what to do. Many men are charging towards her. So, with tears streaming down her face and her mind going blank, she's going to reach into her pocket, take out some bat guano. In the other pocket, takes out some sulfur, smushes them together, closes her eyes, and pushes her hands out forward. And I would like to set everything on fire, please.
see this 20-foot radius where like most of the bitches are? Yeah. I would like to attempt.
Yeah, you can hit. They have made a nice little pile for you.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're chasing something.
You're even gonna hit the tiefling.
Hey.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and roll the saving throws. Interesting. There's a lot of low numbers here. Only one of them has escaped. And they've not even escaped. They only take half damage. So go ahead and roll your damage, please, Doddle.
Damage increases by 1d6. I would also like to use Fury of the Small, please and thank you, just for a little cherry on top.
Yep, put a cherry on top.
7 extra damage.
7 extra damage. So it's 30 points total. Is that what I'm hearing?
36.
Okay, great. That's all I need to know. So 36 or 37?
36, because 6 is 29, and then
all right.
9 plus 7.
I'm just gonna start removing stuff from the board. Okay?
Good heavens.
So the only things that survived that blast, Doddle, were the strange figure that fell off the roof, who's now smoldered, but still seems to be alive. The bald-headed, tattooed thug that seems to be one of the leaders gets blown backwards, and I'm going to even put him over here because the explosion throws him off his feet. So he's currently prone. As he lies in a pile here, blistered with burns across his body, seems to have thought twice about trying to retrieve the cart. And there is a smoking, ashen wash across the cobblestone, and part of the building over here has been fully singed.
Fucking hell.
Doddle's still clutching the arrow in her shoulder. Grabs onto the cart and her knees give way. She closes her eyes and covers her ears.
Yes, you absolutely can say that. That's beautiful.
And cries. So it begins.
And so, yeah, once that happens, the carriage kind of stops. I do need to make a roll for the horse because two things have happened. There's been a gunshot and now there's an explosion. So I'm going to see if this horse bolts out of this alleyway or stays put. The horse stays put and just kind of looks back at you, and you feel like a wet lick across your face as you're crying there. That is the end of the round, which means that we're going to go here to the individuals. The archers are no longer shooting. They are running away. And unless anyone tries to do anything to stop them, they're gone. The strange, burnt leader of these thugs pulls himself up and immediately starts to climb this building here, desperately trying to get away from all of you. Not even looking at any of you. If no one does anything, the only person that's left is a single thug and a cockatrice. And the cockatrice is currently killing that thug, and if no one does anything, the cockatrice will murder this person on the ground. Siraye, I know you have things to say about this tiefling. So the tiefling is pulling themselves up off the ground, looks around, and sees that they are surrounded by a lot of people not where they want to be. You can see that they fully intend to run the hell away.
I'm going to try and grab him, like, by the jacket and get in his face.
Okay, so go ahead and make an athletics check if you're going to try to grapple.
17.
17 is good. I get to contest that. And they do not win.
Good.
in that competition. So you are restraining the tiefling, who is still smoldering, and you can see them. They're very unhappy with the situation, but there's also a sense of resignation across their face.
So why Are you after me? And I'll pull out my little dagger and I'll do like a little fancy flip. If you don't tell me the truth, this is gonna be your end.
Maglo is going to try and kill that cockatrice.
Okay, so
to get it off the dude.
Do you shoot the cockatrice that's killing this person?
Yup.
Okay, so go ahead and roll to strike.
22.
Yeah, and you do kill it. This person looks like if they don't receive medical attention, they're also going to be dead.
Maglo is going to go over, open up his bag, and then... Are they conscious?
No.
No? And then he's going to start just like tending his wounds and making sure that he's all right.
So you're doing this, and right next to you, you see this strange figure in the garb of what looks like some sort of martial artist, grabbing onto this tiefling and throwing them up against a wall, threatening them with a knife.
Not my problem. I'm busy, but whatever the fuck's going on there is not my problem, alright?
Busby flies over to Doddle and lands on your shoulder, Doddle.
When he lands, can I just, like, flinch?
And a small little brass automaton climbs over and starts to shine little lights on your wound where the arrow is. And then takes to the air and starts flying back towards where Maglo is, and then looks back at you.
I'm just, cowering. I'm in the corner of the cart.
Yeah.
Knees to my chest, hand to the arrow, maybe even, like, looking down. She's not having a very good day.
You see Harold sitting on the back of this strange white-haired boy. And then you see a figure throw this, what looks like a tiefling up against a wall. And you can see that the hood on that figure kind of falls back, and you now see the pointed ears that Siraye was hiding before. Look, I think we could work this out.
I think we can too. Tell me what I want to know.
Ufar thought that perhaps your work wasn't up to the standards that he was expecting.
Did I miss something? Was something in the job not done?
You left them alive.
You're lying. And I, like, stick the dagger, like, up against his throat.
No, I'm not lying. You left witnesses.
I assure you, I did not. So, tell me, why were you really coming after me?
I only know what Ufar tells me, and that is what Ufar tells me. You've got a blade to my throat, and I'm attached to it, so I'd rather not die here. I have no reason to lie to you, Siraye.
Is there a window behind me?
Yep.
Cool, I'm gonna throw him through the window. Perfect.
Jesus Christ. Not to do with me.
Yeah, so you just kind of like pull them back a little bit and throw them through the window. They shatter through it, and they're out of your line of sight right now. Make a medicine check, please, Maglo. And then Hawke, what are you doing?
I'm gonna run back to the guy that I fully stabbed earlier.
Yeah, this guy?
Yeah, and I'm going to check to see if he's alive or dead.
Unconscious. But
All
needs
right.
medical attention if you don't want him to bleed out.
Yeah, I'm going to use my lay on hands, like 4 points of healing on him to just stop the bleeding.
Okay, so yeah, you do that. And as all of you are scattered through this alleyway, you hear clapping coming from another of the rooftops. Everyone looks to the far corner. You see a figure standing on the roof. There is a cloak and a hood, and it takes a moment as you see this silhouette start to resolve itself. The figure jumps off of the roof and lands very, very nimbly onto the ground, and then starts walking into the middle of the street. And the figure pulls back their hood, and you see a blonde-headed, middle-aged halfling with a really bright smile, looking to all of you with these ecstatic green eyes. And his cloak is made of a rainbow of patchwork pieces that is bright and colorful. He's dressed very well and has a number of very shiny buttons and belt buckles and small rings across his fingers. It speaks of a certain amount of wealth and perhaps extravagance. Well done. Very well done.
I'm sorry, can we help you?
Yes. And I can help you.
This ain't none to do with me.
Looks over at the body that's lying in the ground. You've just killed members of the Grasping Eye.
Yeah, well, they took my book, so...
I hate to tell you this. The gangs in Waterdeep are not so forgiving. Your friend is hurt. And a small little hand points over at Doddle.
You know what? I don't think I have any emotion on my face. I think my mind has left my body along with my soul.
I'm gonna head over to Doddle.
Can I, flinch as Hawke gets close to me?
Yeah, you flinch away. The chicken, however, leaps off of your back and goes and snuggles into you, Doddle.
I snuggle back and I cry.
I'm sorry, little one. I had your chicken. You got a little arrow on you. Just right there. Do you want me to take care of that?
I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if I should leave it in or if I should pull it out.
Hey, Doll, quick question. I need you to tell me that I just yank it out of her shoulder.
Wait, did I tell you
Make a medicine check.
What I'm doing is I yank it out and I put my hand on it and I'm doing my healing hands again for another 10 points of healing on her.
Okay, so the healing hands goes through. Just make a medical check, though, because I want to see how roughly you take this arrow out.
The medicine check. Okay, all right. I have at least proficiency on. That's a 7.
Okay, you do an additional point of damage, but you probably heal that with your magic.
Yeah, so
it's pretty rough. You pull it out, and there's a squirt of blood. And Doddle, you just feel this sharp, horrid pain as this arrow comes out backwards.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, Maglo, I was going to say make an insight check.
5.
I'm going to give this to you anyway. Yeah, you don't know the exact flavor, but you know that he's using divine magics, and you can see the kind of glow, and you just know this bullshit a mile away. So you sense the divine magic from the back of the cart as Hawke begins to heal. Siraye, what are you doing in this moment?
I'm gonna go into where I threw him through the window. I presume it's like a bar or tavern or something.
No, it's not a tavern, but it is it was part of what looks like a store that furnished tack and saddles.
Oh.
So there's a lot of leather work in there. There's a lot of tables.
Okay. Is he on the floor?
No, he's not. He's gone.
Well, there.
You see a smear of blood, and that's all. Did you want to track him and try to follow after?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start kind of looking around, and you hear very clearly, we're gonna need you to stay right here, my friend. You're part of this now.
I'm not a part of...
Oh, you are. You just don't know it yet. And the small, blonde-headed halfling, still beaming, his smile has never wavered, looks across everything, and then falls upon you, Maglo. Did you get your book back?
Aye. And now I'm good to go?
No. I, Phineas Fiddlescratch, have taken an interest in the well-being of this entire group.
Maglo looks over to Hawke. No.
Waterdeep can be very dangerous, and I'm afraid that you've just stepped into town and you've made one of the greatest enemies that you will ever face. Perhaps you would like to find some lodging and food for the night.
May I stand up on the cart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excuse me, sir, but if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind sitting down with a meal with you.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear it.
I apologize. I'm sure you're very wonderful, and I very much look forward to getting to know you as well, but I was directing my comment at, this young man here. Maglo.
His smile doesn't drop at all, and he nods, kind of knowingly.
Sir, I can tell you more about Teowen.
I'm sorry. Am I being pranked? How the fuck do you know that I'm doing anything with Teowen?
You dropped some documents as you were running away. I would like to know what you know as well.
Yeah, you dropped this guy. I'm gonna hold out the page for him.
Very aggressively snatches it out of his hand.
If you would do me the great favor of allowing me to treat you to some rest, relaxation, and warm meal, then I will tell you everything that I know. Will you accept my offer?
I'm gonna be honest, whatever you're trying to sell, I'm not looking to buy anything. So thank you. I don't have money to spend anyways.
I don't seek any money. No coin whatsoever.
Well, if you're looking for somebody to kill somebody, I'm not that kind of guy either.
No, although I do imagine that there will be a few unfortunate souls that run afoul of the situation and won't survive another day.
I believe what Mr. Fiddlescratch is trying to communicate here is that we have upset a great underworld power in this city by engaging in combat with these ruffians. Perhaps walking away from here may not be in our best interest.
For someone young, she's very wise.
Maglo looks to Busby and then looks down at the piece of paper in his hand and Aye, sure, we go to dinner and you tell me what you know.
Splendid. Meet me at the Golden Owl in an hour, and I'll see that you're well fed, and I'll also get you some rooms for the night. You'll find it here in the Southern Wards. You can't miss it. It's the best tavern that you're ever going to step foot into. And he bows deeply and turns and starts walking away as he's whistling.
I don't trust that guy.
Why not?
Guys like that don't operate without an ulterior motive.
Hey, I thought he seemed perfectly lovely.
Right, how the fuck do you know Teowen?
Okay, hold on a second here, Siraye. I see that in the chat you've rolled a stealth and you're trying to slip away. Are you trying to follow Phineas?
Nope.
You're
I'm just trying to slip away from this situation and these people that I have no idea who the fuck they are.
Doddle, your passive perception beats that stealth. You see, you do not get it, Maglo. You're too distracted. Hawke, I think you also have a higher passive perception. Is that right?
I believe so. How do I tell my... Oh, yeah, I have a 12.
So both you and Doddle see this figure kind of like slinking back deeper into the alley.
Can I yell in Elvish, wait?
You can, yeah.
Wait!
And
yeah,
just
what
speak Elvish.
said. I think, wait, was what you said nice?
That goblin just spoke Elvish, which you've never heard before, Siraye.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Can I hop off the cart and try to head towards where Siraye is?
Yeah, you do.
And still speaking Elvish, I say, what are your motivations? What drives you?
Who is this goblin?
Nothing here. I'm gonna reply in, I guess, Elvish. And then I'm gonna turn and walk away.
So, as you do, there was the moment where Hawke was healing that small goblin figure, and as this small goblin comes towards you, there is what you see, Siraye, as a wash of cold energy that is currently swirling around this goblin. And you can see where the wounds were, and it's as if there's frost kind of billowing off of it, and you see the shadow lingering there. Do you continue to turn and walk away?
Yep.
Okay. And as you turn the corner, you see Phineas Fiddlescratch standing before you.
Fuck this guy.
Siraye, I've been trying very hard to be gentle with you, but I get the feeling that you're going to make this hard on me. Are you going to make this hard for me? Should we consult the city guard?
If I'm not mistaken, you said to meet you in an hour.
Yes. Will you be there in an hour, or do I have to worry about you disappearing?
And then Siraye is gonna walk past Fiddlescratch.
Okay. He nods and he slips back into a doorway. And Doddle, as you turn the corner, no one's there.
Oh. Head back to Maglo.
Harold is there, kind of like pecking at some grain that was spilled onto the ground. Any signs of the thugs are completely gone. The blast mark, however, is still very apparent in this alleyway, and there's still some smoldering little fires from your magic. You do have now a cart and a horse.
I would like to go up to Maglo and stick my hand out and say, hello. My name is Doddle. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
My name's Maglo Mandorian. It's a pleasure to meet yours. And then he shakes around.
Go up to Hawke. Do. Hello, my name is Doddle. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Hi. You're small. You're also a goblin.
I suppose I am.
Meanwhile, under the city somewhere, June, I need you to tell me how you're attacking these rats. And there is a very large creature that has swelled up, ready to attack.
Well, she instinctively just jumps back and tries to flip out her thorn whip. She's shocked, so she's gonna go ahead and go for big fella there. Did it show up for you? I can't see it.
Yeah, I can see it. You struck with a 5. So you lash out, and your whip in the confined space scrapes across the roof of this sewer passageway, and rocks kind of tumble down as this large bestial rat creature leaps forward closer to you, hissing. You have missed your strike. Do you have anything else that you wish to do with your action? A bonus action or?
No, she has nothing. She just kind of looks over at Kitty Cat.
Immediately, the feline creature of Old Scratch leaps, lands on the rock on the side of the wall next to you, and then bounces back and forth between them, rolling behind the creature, and then pulling up with two arrows, and shoots 2 arrows into the back of this creature. Both of which strike, and you hear it hiss, and then it turns back, and you can see that the arrows are buried pretty deep into the back of this thing. The other rats are swarming towards you. There's a horde of them, but 3 of them are very large. 2 of them miss you, but the third one bites at you and claws at you. You take 5 points of damage, actually. That's max damage. 5 points of damage as it really rakes across your ankle, and you feel blood swell and rush down your leg. Okay, it's back to the top. It's your turn.
Okay. June's gonna Sacred Flame. Wow, the one that just bit her.
Okay, so you blast down with a Sacred Flame at the creature in front of you.
Okay, do you see that one? 16.
You explode the rat in a blast of divine energy as gore, guts, and fur splashes across the walls around you. And there's as it just dies horribly. That was a lot of damage for a giant rat. Okay, and then
God!
There are 2 more. Do you have anything else you want to do?
I'm gonna back away just a little bit from those little rats. I'll go about 5 feet.
Immediately, you can see that across the way, this creature is focused on Scratch and attacks, and ouch. It lunges, and you can see Scratch very hurriedly starts pulling out arrows and knocks 2 more arrows, but is too slow as this creature pummels into the Tabaxi, throwing him back into the water, and the 2 of them are fighting now in front of you, rolling back and forth. As you can see, Scratch is holding back this creature's horrid maw of sharp teeth as it's snapping right in his face. Run!
She books it.
Start making your way down the passageways. Go for the sea, you'll know. The sea. As you see Scratch continue to fight with this creature behind you. And you keep rushing through these passageways, turning until you feel as if you're getting lost, June. And eventually, the sewage, it becomes much more clear, and you smell salt water as you emerge from a sewer pipe and look out onto the shore. And then your head turns back to the city behind you, and you see docks. And as far as the eye can see, you see masts and sails of countless ships as they are harbored within the dock ward of Waterdeep. And that is where we're going to leave it for the night. Thank you so much. We are completed with this section of the adventure. We'll come back to this next week.
All trains lead to the ocean, kid.
Wow.
I'm sorry that we didn't get to another scene, Kaza and Az. I was trying to have 2 for each of you, but we are a little tight today.
I think I need some time to figure out how I'm going to steal this ring.
And I said everything I came here to say.
Yep, we're good.
I'm willing to be a criminal.
We went exactly up to and a little bit beyond what I was prepared for with Cal right now. So
I know the saying is be gay, do crimes, but damn.
Wow. Okay, friends, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, good luck.
Go with the stream.
Have fun. I'm gonna go too and get a little bit of work done on this edit before our friends go on a stream.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I can watch